Basketball is one of the most popular sports in the world, and because of that, plenty of basketball stars have made their way onto the big screen. Most people can point to names like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Shaquille O'Neal as three NBA stars who managed to star in their own movies. What many people may not know is that those very stars made cameos in plenty of other films, and even more NBA stars managed to star and make cameos in films of their own. The draw of skilled athletes being used to surprise movie-going audiences is likely something that many studios consider with the films they make, leading to plenty of NBA star cameos in film. Hey guys, welcome back to Swish, and in this video, we're going to take a look at 10 NBA players that appeared in movies. But before we start, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content like this. LeBron James, train wreck. Love him or hate him, LeBron James wields a pretty significant amount of star power in today's world. The basketball superstar is often in the discussion of the greatest of all time, and it makes sense that his success would translate into other ventures. Everyone should be aware that he starred in the new Space Jam film, but he's acted before that. He usually appeared as himself in a smaller role in the 2015 comedy film Trainwreck. Due to his star power, James is often a major part of the media he's featured in. Marques Johnson, white men can't jump. One of the greats from older generations of basketball is Marques Johnson. He not only received dozens of awards and accolades, he also became a fairly popular athlete. That fame has led to him making his own cameo appearances in films. It wasn't just a small appearance in one film either. Johnson appeared in quite a few films over the years. He had small parts in films like White Man Can't Jump, Forget Paris, and Blue Chips, amongst a few others. Clearly, Johnson was a well-liked guy in the film industry. Lamar Odom, Van Wilder. The two-time NBA champion seemed to be loved everywhere he went during his time with the NBA. Just how much promise he showed so early in his career is something that helped him pick up small cameo roles rather quickly. One of the more famous films he had an early cameo in was Van Wilder, in which he was a Coolidge Chickadee player. He'd go on to do plenty of TV, but he did eventually appear in the much-maligned Adam Sandler comedy film Jack and Jill. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Airplane. It would be shocking to hear about a die-hard basketball fan who doesn't know who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is. While he probably wouldn't call himself an actor, his legendary status has landed him countless roles in both TV and film. One of his most memorable cameo roles was in the classic spoof comedy Airplane, in which he plays a co-pilot. He further appeared in dozens of other movies and shows thanks to his incredible legacy and likable personality. He even made an appearance in a Stephen King miniseries for The Stand. Shaquille O'Neal. Pretty much everyone loves Shaq these days, and his charisma is a huge part in that very thing. Thanks to all that charisma, Shaq has taken up a few major acting roles in his day, and has even taken on a couple of smaller cameo roles. Everyone knows about Kazam, but Shaq also appeared in films like Blue Chips, Jack and Jill, and even Scary Movie 4. He further appeared in animated films like The Lego Movie and The Smurfs 2, to plenty of comedic effect. Larry Bird, Space Jam. A lot of people may not know that Larry Bird has actually appeared in a few different films over the years. Obviously, the most famous of the movies he appeared in was the classic basketball film Space Jam. Aside from the obvious, Bird also appeared in Blue Chips and Celtic Pride. All of those little appearances have continued into smaller screen appearances in the likes of various commercials. He often appears alongside fellow NBA alumni and is always a treat to see whenever he pops up. Darius Miles, The Perfect Score, Van Wilder. Fans of both Ryan Reynolds and basketball may have actually noticed Darius Miles in one of his films. Even further, Miles was actually an integral part of a film alongside heavy hitters like Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. He first appeared in The Perfect Score alongside some actors who are now superstars, but he would go on to have a few smaller roles, one of which he appeared in Van Wilder with some other NBA players. It's almost a shame Miles didn't continue acting because clearly he enjoyed it. Muggsy Bogues, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Basketball fans might have been surprised to see Muggsy Bogues making appearances in films, but it was a great idea to include the ultimate underdog of the sport. Bogues' fame led him to plenty of high-profile movie and TV show cameos over the years. Of course, one of the most famous cameos was in the classic basketball film Space Jam, but he also made a cameo in Juwanna Mann, Outside of that, Bogues had even more cameos in the world of television in famous shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Charles Barkley, another basketball star that a lot of people may not have known has had a great acting career, is Charles Barkley. While he hasn't exactly led anything of note, he has made plenty of appearances in famous series and an iconic basketball film. Being one of the many basketball legends that appeared in Space Jam, Charles Barkley is always fun to see on the big screen. Unfortunately, he then went on to only take smaller appearances on shows like Suits, The Goldbergs, and Clerks, the animated series. Vince Carter. Anyone who manages to become an 8-time NBA All-Star probably has a pretty decent shot at being asked to appear in movies. Carter appeared in a relatively popular sports comedy that most basketball fans probably watched at some point. His biggest film cameo was in the 2002 comedy Like Mike. Carter appears as a kind of villain in which he, as a Toronto Raptor, is way ahead in the final confrontation. Of course, the film's hero comes back to win the day, but it was still a cool cameo for Carter fans.